Welcome to Wine Wanderings. I'm continuing my discussion with Tim Gaiser, Master Sommelier, and we're discussing his new book, Message in the Bottle. So in this book, Tim, you talk about great wine versus great wine experiences. And since Wine Wanderings is all about wine, spirits, and travel, you're in the right place because all of us are interested in great wine and great wine experiences especially. But what do you mean by this? And describe a little bit to all of us that haven't read the book, perhaps. I have, which it's a delightful book. You talk about your Florence, Italy wine experience.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing it up. That's it's such a great wine memory. You know, the first time I ever went to Europe was in 1987 with my wife, Carla. And we spent probably, a week and a half in France between Paris and the Loire Valley in Burgundy. And then we took a train from Lyon to Florence. Again, I'd never been to Europe before, and I was just getting into wine at this time. And I just remember, and I was a huge painting fan. I still am. I'm a huge art fan. So, the first time being in Florence was magical. Seeing, the Uffizi Gallery and the room with the Botticellis is still just, it blows my mind, But also just, discovering that, the Europeans, how they're different from us is they kind of are they grow up with the idea of living to eat versus eating to live, where, dining matters, quality of food matters, right? Sitting down and with your loved ones or friends and enjoying a meal. And it doesn't have to be fancy, but all life comes to a halt because dinner is a thing or lunch is a thing, right? And how delicious the wines that you would get, which could be a simple Côte d'Rhône, or in the case of what I write about in the book, just a simple Chianti Classico. And I remember my wife and I, we would often split up because she was bored by art galleries after a while, and I wasn't. So we would go shopping separately in the afternoon, and then we'd be back in the hotel. But we decided to have dinner at this student place called Trattoria Zaza, and it's still there, right? Because the last time I went to Italy a few years ago, it was still there. And that made me really happy, by the way. And I even remembered where it was from the square, which is even more amazing. But here's, where the dichotomy of a great wine and then a great wine experience and a great wine is, because I'm certainly fortunate enough to have tasted a lot of amazing wines in my career, right? Things like 1945 Latour, 1961 Cheval Blanc, and on and on and on and on. Okay, and it's amazing. It's just amazing to taste these things, but it's not the same as being with the right person or people in the right place. And that's the theme of your Substack is amazing because to me, my favorite wine memories are great wine experiences, and most of them have to do with being in a place. And the experience of being at this trattoria, and it was a student joint and just chaotic and noisy. And at the time, the only thing they served was pizza and pasta and salads, and that's it. And the wine list was even smaller. So if you wanted white wine, that came in a bottle. The red wine was Chianti Classico, and it was in a huge cask behind the bar. I'm thinking it was Chianti Classico, maybe just Chianti, right? Because it came, and they were taking, filling up liter carafes. And so Carla and I went in, we ordered a liter of Chianti, and the waitress bought it with these two thick, chunky glasses that could have been a weapon in a bar fight, and poured it for us. And one sip, and it was just like the most delicious red wine I'd ever had. And we ordered pizza and salads, and it was just a great night. I mean, in the book, I write something about, I thought, even at the time, I'm here in Florence, which is like the epicenter of history and culture and food and wine. And I have this glass of delicious wine in hand, and if I'm not happy, I'm the one with problems, right? And I remember that sticking with me. But it just goes to show you that, a great wine experience when you're with a person of your dreams and eating delicious food and a great wine, that's what a great wine experience is about. And so that chapter in the book, which is in the fourth part, which is 8 essays on wine, it's about experiences like that, holding my infant daughter Maria with a glass of Paul Rosé rosé. Yeah. So things like that. They're the best memories. And the thing about it is, forever and a day, you will never forget the wine, but you'll also remember everything about the experience. And that, to me, is just the best.
It's imprinted in your brain, in your memory, isn't it?
It's in my mainframe.
It's in your mainframe.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, thank you for joining us today on Wine Wanderings, and congratulations on your new book, Message in the Bottle.
Oh, thanks. And thanks for having me. And it's great to see you.